Investigative journalism has always played a vital role in society. It uncovers secrets, exposes wrongdoing, and holds powerful people accountable. In recent years, however, the world of investigative journalism has been changing rapidly. Two main forces are driving this change: globalization and technology. Both are shaping how journalists find, investigate, and tell stories. Globalization means that people, information, and money move more easily around the world. This makes it harder to track illegal activities, but it also gives journalists new ways to work together. Technology, especially artificial intelligence, is giving journalists powerful tools. They can now search for hidden patterns in huge amounts of data and find connections they could not see before. As more stories cross national borders, the way news is reported and shared has also shifted. Journalists now use digital platforms to reach a global audience instantly. This new environment demands new skills, tools, and ways of thinking for reporters everywhere. Understanding these changes is important for anyone who wants to know how journalism works today. It is also crucial for those who care about transparency and democracy. Investigative journalism is changing, but its mission remains the same: to speak truth to power. Globalization connects people and countries in ways that were not possible before. Goods, ideas, and news now move quickly across borders. This has big implications for investigative journalists. Crimes like corruption, tax evasion, and money laundering often happen across many countries. No single reporter or news organization can track these stories alone. In the past, journalists mostly worked with sources and documents from their own country. Today, they need to work with colleagues from other nations. Global networks of journalists now cooperate to follow the money and uncover hidden stories. Working together, they can share information, skills, and resources. This makes their investigations deeper and more powerful. One best example of this is the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. It brings together reporters from around the world. They collaborate on big stories that cross borders, like the Panama Papers and Pandora Papers. This kind of teamwork was rare just a decade ago. Globalization also means that stories are more likely to affect people everywhere. A secret bank account in Switzerland might hide money stolen from a country in Africa. By working together, journalists can show the bigger picture and help people understand how global systems work. Technology has always changed the way journalists work. Today, artificial intelligence is making the biggest impact. AI can quickly search through millions of documents, emails, or financial records. This saves journalists time and helps them find key information hidden in the data. AI tools can recognize patterns and flag unusual activities that may need closer attention. For example, algorithms can spot suspicious money transfers between bank accounts. Natural language processing helps reporters analyze text in different languages or find connections between people and companies. With these tools, journalists can investigate stories that would be impossible to handle by hand. But technology is not only about AI. Journalists use secure messaging apps to communicate safely with sources. They rely on data visualization tools to make complex information easier to understand. Digital archives and cloud storage make it possible to share massive files with teams on different continents. Still, these new tools come with risks. Computers can make mistakes or miss important details. Algorithms might be biased if they are trained on incomplete data. That is why journalists must understand how these technologies work and use them carefully. Large investigations like the Panama Papers and Pandora Papers show how journalists are changing the way they work. In 2016, an anonymous source leaked millions of files from a law firm in Panama. These files showed how politicians, celebrities, and business leaders hid their money in secret offshore accounts. The leak was huge, more than 11 million documents. No single news organization could analyze all this information alone. The ICIJ led a team of over 370 journalists from 80 countries. They worked together using secure online platforms and AI-powered search tools. They shared findings, checked facts, and built a network of trust across languages and time zones. The Pandora Papers, released in 2021, were even larger. This project involved 600 journalists from 117 countries. Again, AI and digital tools helped reporters sift through the data. They uncovered how the rich and powerful use offshore companies to hide wealth and avoid taxes. These collaborations changed investigative journalism. Reporters learned to trust each other and share knowledge. The work took months, but the impact was global. Governments opened investigations, some leaders lost their jobs, and people everywhere demanded more transparency. The internet has changed not only how journalists investigate stories, but also how they share them. In the past, investigative reports were long articles in newspapers or magazines. Today, digital storytelling uses videos, interactive maps, timelines, and graphics. These tools help readers understand complex stories. For example, in the Panama Papers project, websites included searchable databases. People could see which politicians or companies were named. Interactive graphics showed how money moved between countries. Videos explained the main findings in simple language. Digital storytelling also makes it easier to reach a global audience. News websites and social media allow stories to travel far and fast. People can share articles with friends or comment on new findings. This helps investigative journalism have a bigger impact. But the shift to digital also brings challenges. Readers have short attention spans, and there is a lot of competition for their time. Journalists must be creative to make stories both accurate and engaging. The goal is to make important information clear and easy to remember. As powerful as technology is, it cannot replace human judgment. Computers are good at sorting data, but they do not understand context or ethics. Journalists must decide which leads to follow and which facts to double-check. They know how to ask questions, listen to sources, and spot when something does not make sense. AI can find patterns, but it cannot judge if a story is fair or true. Reporters need to check sources, confirm details, and think about the impact of their work. They must also protect the identity of sources and avoid causing harm. These are skills that only experienced journalists have. Human judgment is also needed to avoid mistakes. Sometimes computers miss important clues or make errors. Journalists must look at the data themselves and decide what matters. They need to be transparent about how they work and how they use technology. In the end, technology is only a tool. It helps journalists do their job faster and better, but it cannot tell the whole story. The values of honesty, fairness, and responsibility are more important than ever. With all these changes, investigative journalists face new challenges. First, they must make sure their stories are accurate. Mistakes can harm innocent people and damage trust. Journalists must check facts carefully and explain how they found their information. Transparency is key to keeping the public's trust. Ethical questions are also more complicated now. Should journalists use leaked data? How do they protect their sources in a digital world? And how do they make sure AI tools are not biased or used unfairly? Newsrooms must create new rules and train reporters to handle these issues. Another big challenge is the spread of false information online. Powerful people can attack or discredit reporters on social media. Journalists must work harder to prove their stories are true and stand up for the truth. Despite these challenges, the changes in investigative journalism are good for democracy. When reporters use new tools and work together across borders, they can better expose wrongdoing. This helps citizens stay informed and powerful people stay honest. Investigative journalism remains a key part of a free and fair society.